Welcome to This Explainer. Look, if you're feeling that familiar crushing weight of exam season right now, just take a deep breath. Seriously, breathe. We are absolutely going to validate those feelings today. But more importantly, we're going to give you some highly actionable tools to conquer that overwhelming pressure. You are definitely not alone in this. Today, we're going to tame this beast together. Here's our quick roadmap for today. We'll start with recognizing exam stress, move into fueling mind and body, then we're navigating the exam timeline, and finally, we'll wrap up with the power of support. All right, Section 1, recognizing exam stress, identifying the roots and symptoms. Let's get right into it. So, what actually brings on exam stress? Well, the very first step is realizing that feeling stressed isn't a personal weakness. It's just a completely natural response. And you know what's really interesting is that it rarely just stems from feeling unprepared. It's a whole mix of things. It can be triggered by a fear of the unknown, external pressures from family or school, some seriously intense self-imposed expectations, or even just sudden life changes happening in the background. Because it comes from so many different places, acknowledging that your stress is a totally personalized experience is absolutely key. The thing is, stress is kind of sneaky because it actually attacks on two fronts. Internally, you might feel the emotional signs, right? Things like anxiety, constant worry, and self-doubt. But externally, your body reacts with physical signs. So it's completely normal to feel panicked internally while also experiencing a sudden headache, a change in your appetite, or literally not being able to sleep. Knowing that stress hits you on both these fronts is the first real step to fighting back. Moving right along to Section 2, fueling mind and body, building your resilience and capabilities. Okay. Here is your secret weapon. Ready? 8.5. Yep, you should aim for roughly 8 to 9 hours of quality sleep every single night. And why? Because your body is literally a well-tuned machine and it requires proper rest to perform at its peak. Look, pulling an all-nighter might feel heroic in the moment, we've all been there, but you are actually depriving your brain of the exact recovery it desperately needs to recall all that information on test day. Now, along with sleep, your body needs premium fuel. It's like putting gas in a car. You want to opt for slow-release carbs and balanced meals to maintain steady energy. Dedicate just 30 minutes a day to exercise. It does wonders for mental clarity. And keep your mindset grounded with realistic, achievable revision targets. This whole combination maximizes your productivity without risking total burnout. Even with all that premium fuel, panic is still a pretty familiar companion during exams. It happens. But when it strikes, you can use this simple, finite, three-step process to just pace yourself through the storm and find a rational solution. First up, take 6 deep breaths to clear your mind. Seriously, count them out. Second, hydrate to physically reset your body. And third, break down the problem into manageable chunks. Every huge problem has a solution if you just take a composed, step-by-step approach. All right, on to Section 3, navigating the exam timeline, mapping out your specific journey. So your coping strategies actually need to evolve depending on where you are in the chronological battle. Notice how 4 weeks out, the focus is really on balance and making time for enjoyable activities. But as we shrink down to 2 weeks out, it shifts, right? It shifts to tailored timetables and study groups. By the night before, 0 days out, it's all about physical preparation and grounding yourself. Your strategy absolutely has to adapt as that exam gets closer. Zeroing in on that preparation phase for a second, studying with peers isn't just about sharing notes to absorb information. It actively builds the emotional support and autonomy you need right now. You also need to tailor a revision timetable to your own unique style. Find a study environment that enhances deep focus for you, and consciously replace those negative thoughts with positive affirmations. Remind yourself how far you've already come. And then the big day arrives. When the clock finally starts on exam day, starting positively and actively reminding yourself that this temporary pressure will soon evaporate can honestly make all the difference in the world. Ground your mind with those calming breathing exercises we talked about, and crucially, take your time reading the questions. The pressure is intense, for sure, but knowing that the finish line is mere hours away is a highly effective way to stay composed. Phew, okay. Once the test is over, the absolute worst thing you can do is spiral into anxiety over what your friends wrote down. We all do it, but refrain from comparing answers. It will not change your grade. Instead, immediately shift your focus to rewarding your efforts and allowing for genuine moments of relaxation before you even think about the next steps.
Which brings us to our final section, Section 4, the power of support, because you really do not have to go it alone.
I want you to take a deep breath and really absorb this quote. Self-care isn't just a buzzword, it's a lifeline during exam season. Amidst the absolute chaos of studying, taking time for yourself is not some luxury, it is an absolute necessity, simply because life does not stop around exams. Your mental well-being has to remain a top priority. A massive part of that self-care involves reaching out to your network. Whether it's friends, family, tutors, or professionals, sharing your feelings provides immediate encouragement and a listening ear. Opening up to your allies can immediately alleviate that heavy burden of stress. And please remember this, asking for support is never a sign of weakness. Actually, scratch that. It is always a sign of incredible strength. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this profound reminder. You are not defined by exams. You are defined by your growth and your resilience. Success isn't just about the final grade at your destination. It's about the resilience, the habits, and the emotional intelligence you build along the way. That is what really, truly matters.
So, now that you have the timeline, the strategies, and the tools to thrive, how will you use this journey to grow and tame your own exam stress beast? How are you going to harness this pressure to fuel your own personal growth moving forward? Thank you so much for joining me, and remember, you've absolutely got this.